Have you ever seen stars during the day? Have you ever witnessed nightfall in the middle of a bright afternoon? Have you ever suddenly seen the sun disappear? Well, friends, I am talking about a fascinating astronomical event known as a solar eclipse. What is a solar eclipse? Is it something scary or a beautiful phenomenon? Does someone swallow the sun, or does someone just block its rays? Is it superstitious or purely a scientific event? In this video, we will find answers to all these questions. Solar eclipse is neither scary nor superstitious. It is simply one of the most astonishing, beautiful, and unique astronomical events. I would say if you haven't witnessed a solar eclipse yet, you haven't truly lived your life. Why do I say that? Because only Earth provides us with such a precise and unparalleled view of this incredible event. In comparison, from any other planet in our solar system, you cannot see the sun and the moon in such perfect alignment. So, let's understand how a solar eclipse actually happens. It's quite easy to grasp. When the moon comes between the Earth and the sun, and all three align in a straight line, the moon's shadow falls on Earth, and anyone standing in that shadow's path sees a solar eclipse. Now, you might wonder how the moon, which is much smaller than Earth, and the sun appear to be the same size. This happens because the sun is approximately 400 times larger than the moon, but the moon is about 382,400 kilometers away from us, while the sun is about 152 million kilometers away. So when you do the math, you'll find that the sun and the moon appear to be almost the same size in our sky. Did you know that solar eclipses always occur on the day of a new moon? That's when the sun and the moon are in the same part of the sky. Now the question arises, if the moon orbits the Earth approximately every 27 days, why don't we have a solar eclipse every new moon? The answer lies in the fact that the moon's orbit is tilted about 5 degrees or has a net tilt. This means that there are only 2 or sometimes 3 occasions in a year when the sun, the moon, and the Earth align perfectly for a solar eclipse to occur. Now let's talk about the different types of solar eclipses. Solar eclipses come in 4 varieties. The first one is the partial eclipse, often called a partial solar eclipse. Sometimes the moon cannot completely cover the sun, resulting in a partial eclipse. The second type is the total eclipse, which occurs when the moon completely covers the sun. This is the most rare and spectacular type of solar eclipse. The third type is the angular eclipse. In this case, the moon appears slightly smaller than the sun, leaving a ring-like shape around the edges, and it happens because the moon's orbit is slightly elliptical. Finally, the fourth type is the hybrid eclipse, which combines elements of both total and angular eclipses. Hybrid eclipses are quite rare and can only be seen from certain regions of the Earth. Now let's discuss what you can observe during a solar eclipse. If you first look at the shadows of trees or objects during a solar eclipse, you will see many pinhole effects created by the sun through their leaves. It means that even shadows resemble the moon. The second thing is shadow bands. If you have a large white paper, place it outside during a solar eclipse. Just a few seconds before a total eclipse occurs, you will see many shadow bands on that paper. But remember, this phenomenon is visible only during a total eclipse. Third is Baily's beads. This also can be observed during a total solar eclipse, just about 20 or 30 seconds before the eclipse. Why do they look like beautiful pearls? Because the mountains and craters on the moon's surface create this stunning effect as the last rays of sunlight pass through them. Fourth is the sun's corona. No, not the coronavirus, but the outer atmosphere of the sun, which we can only see with our naked eyes during a solar eclipse. Sometimes it even displays solar flares and solar waves. And the fifth thing is stars in the daytime sky. Yes, you can see stars around the sun, such as Venus and Mercury. Planets like Jupiter and Saturn, however, are never visible from the Earth's surface. Their view is obstructed by the sun. Einstein's theory of relativity explains that light curves due to gravity, and this was confirmed by scientists during a solar eclipse. In an observation, It was found that a star that should have been behind the sun was actually visible above the sun. In other words, its light was bending towards Earth. And finally, the most spectacular of all, the diamond ring. The ring that has no price but presents such a mesmerizing sight that we get lost in its beauty. Such extraordinary phenomena can only be witnessed during a solar eclipse. So, don't be afraid. Instead, enjoy such events. However, it's crucial to use special eclipse glasses when observing the sun directly, as looking at the sun without protection can cause severe eye damage. Now, if you observe the sun's surroundings in the presence of other planets like Jupiter and its moons, you can witness multiple solar eclipses in a day. Imagine if we were on Jupiter. We might see 3 solar eclipses in a single day. Similarly, the satellites of Saturn or Saturn's moons can also cause solar eclipses relative to their planet. Mars, Venus, and Neptune, with their respective moons, could potentially create solar eclipses as well. There is also a unique phenomenon called occultation, where our moon not only occults the sun but also other celestial objects in the solar system. This happens when the moon passes in front of a planet or star, and it can be observed here on Earth. However, to witness this phenomenon, having a good telescope or binoculars would be very beneficial. Even Venus, the evening star, doesn't spare Mars, another planet. Venus occasionally passes behind Mars, just as if another moon were emerging from behind the moon, because Venus also has phases like the moon. So, when we witness such remarkable events, we feel the pride of being human and having the ability to think. So this leads us to a thought-provoking question. Are there stars bigger than our sun in our galaxy? If there are, can you name 5 stars in our Milky Way that are larger than the sun? If you like the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Keep exploring. Happy astronomy!